And we have to do the newspapers. We're ready. Mama V, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you take the reins?
Well, you too. You've been missing for a while. Yeah.
Yesterday I had to disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reins, truth. I didn't want to come to work. Oh. Listen, I know some people would call and say the roads or their areas have been flooded, so they can't go to work.
I think
somebody will call in sick, but you know it's not true. Yeah, don't do it. Go to work. Make it a productive day, even though it's raining. No.
Yes.
No excuses.
But there are some people who will indeed be waterlogged.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's just the country we live in.
Yeah.
We are not yet civilized enough to be able to function when it rains.
Yeah. Initially, when it started with the winds, I said, well, people's roofs are going to be in a terrible state by the next 1 hour or two. It's also because we don't go according to what the regulations will be, as a result of a lack of enforcement and our own oversight responsibilities to get the right things done when we're fixing our own structures. And it's a problem.
But it's refreshing because of Doomsor, because it's been really, really hot. You wouldn't know what I'm talking about.
Of course, I know what you're talking about. It's been very hot for most of us. The lights go off in my house.
And when I was coming, it had gone off in certain areas around Lashibi.
Yeah. And you know that we use the rains as an excuse, right, to put places off further. Yeah. But yesterday, the NDC. Okay, well, this is not the NDC as in the party, but members of the party.
They call themselves the Coalition
Restoration
for something.
Yeah.
The Coalition for Restoration or something like that.
Okay, we'll get to details of that, what Mr. Adongo had to say and what the other panelists had to say, the questions that were asked. And then the former president was there as well, John Dramani Mahama, offering to give the vote of thanks.
Yes.
And trying not to say anything that will make the media look away from the purpose
for which they were there.
Exactly.
And just by saying
we will see.
Just by saying that, he ensured that his little comment became the most quoted from the whole event.
Yeah.
You look through the newspapers and you see it.
Oh.
You know, so yeah. Sometimes when you tell somebody, don't think of an elephant, what do they do?
Oh, Kojo.
It's all part of communication skills.
Oh,
right?
Kojo.
Oh, Kojo.
Why? Oh, Monacote. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay.
Let's stick to the newspapers right now.
It's me.
Oh, Baumia. Wow.
So from Gomordina Richard Quest from Aflao Christiana Mampo. Angloga Christiana Mampo.
Thank you.
Roa with Infa. And Ashaiman Krishnan Gurumeti. We all wish you a good morning.
Yeah.
Let's have a quick look through the papers, right?
Oh, Kojo. Why? All right. Okay.
All right. Well, I have the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Statesman, and the Daily Guide. I've got a frog in my throat as well. I think it must have jumped in there when it started raining. Forgive me. But
the rain.
Yeah.
We could slash it open and take it out.
Blame it on the weather.
Yeah, well, I might have to get some help with that. Do you know anybody who would like to?
Oh, I can do that for you.
Oh, dear.
I will hammer you.
You will what?
Hammer you.
Nothing.
What's about hammer?
Hey, it's Friday.
Charlie, it's raining. All sorts of things coming out.
All right. Well, while I await hammering, let's look at the Ghanaian Times front page. Let's criminalize water pollution. This is what a University Don, Professor Joshua Usu-Seche, is suggesting on the front page. Interesting story there. Mixed reactions over EMT town hall meeting. Page 26 of the Ghanaian Times has details of that. Don't interfere in day-to-day administration of institutions. That's from the senior minister who is advising boards of state institutions. NDC urges government to adhere to IMF recommendations. That's page 17. And on the back page, There's a picture of the sports minister, and the story is second AIPS Sports Media Awards launched at the 6th AIPS Africa Congress in Accra, and there was a shield awarded to the sports minister there. Mediama Pip Kotoko is on the back page, and FDA destroys unwholesome goods at Kufuridia. And there's a great big pyre that has been laid in the middle of a sort of, what do they call these things? Bola.
Oh, I can't bola. No, we understood.
Okay, bola, yes. In the middle of a bola grounds, they have set up a great big pyre.
Is it a dump site?
They are burning. Dump site, that's the word, yes. Oh my goodness. Dump site. You know, there are certain expressions that only apply in third world countries. And this is one of them. Dump site. We have sites for dumping. Dumping Naraya as the bond, but we've regularized it.
We're not third world, we're developing.
Oh. We are not third world.
Say developing.
Are we second world or first world?
We're a developing country.
Or fourth world.
We'll soon go beyond 8.
Hallelujah.
So
but until then, we are burning unwholesome goods at dump sites. That's on the back page of the Ghanaian Times. Let's quickly look at the Daily Statesman. Front page, banner headline, NDC fails the Baumia test. Spokesmen attack Vice President, ignore facts in rambling counter lecture. The Commander Sugar Factory was set up to fail, Alan tells Parliament. NADMO demands demolition of Tema Newtown Police Station. And that's it for the Statesman. I'll wrap up with the Daily Guide before Mamavi and Roland come in. And the banner headline, $2.2 billion Eastern Rail project kicks off. Picture of Joe Gate, the Railways Minister, right there on the front page. Also, NDC planned sale of Commander Sugar Factory. And ex-security heads deny NCA gurus. That's interesting. Mahama presents own town hall meeting. And government to invest $500 million in a Greek mechanization. On the back page, Egyptian embassy to assist fans ahead of AFCON tournament. 11 Wise kicks off 100th milestone with photo exhibition. Spurs return home in style, and that's there are pictures of the beautiful brand new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Oh God, what a glorious building it is! And they had quite a let's call it a inauguration of their stadium. Palace Decor backs McDan ITF World Tour, and once again, Dr. Daniel Macaulay playing that prominent role he always does in the world of tennis with the backing from Palace Decor. That's it. Done.
All right, let's do the Daily Dispatch newspaper. We have on the front page, Kwame Pienim replies Baumia, people do not eat words. City strength reflecting the cost of living. And the story is well captured on the back page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Anglo Gold ordered to pay drowned employees' family some 9 million Ghana cedis for negligence. Mahamatu Baumia, you can lie with figures, but realities of life will expose you. 75% of MPs have BP and diabetes due to pressure of work. There's a story attributed to former Minister of Power, Kobna Donko. Okay, let's go to the Gold Street business. It has on the front page, import community begins re-strategizing. Port managers to accelerate expansion program. Import service providers gear up for doubling of business volumes, and importers, manufacturers begin reconsidering cost prices. Ghana World Bank agreed to digitize public records at the Registrar General's Department. GRA moves to deepen tax compliance, unveils ITAP's platform. SIM registration to be streamlined. The story is on page 4 of the Gold Street business, and why Ghana is one of Africa's best 10 investment destinations. Okay. Let's look at the Observer. Observer has the front page stories. NDC fails to match Dr. Bawumia as NDC forum turns into match of insult, character assassination, comedy. Guta hails government over import duty reductions. Cocoa Board rubbishes vegetable oil for insecticides report, and Vice President Bawumia challenges youth to take advantage of government policies and programs. Ghana's future is bright. Bawumia. On the back page, Manchester United, back page of the Observer. Manchester United, according to the sports story, is set for a summer clear out. Number of, at least we have 2 players who have been captured there. Madrid consider shock move for Thomas Partey. Yeah, one of those stories always linked to agents trying to get some good values for their clients, the players. Well, so those are the stories we have. Let's look at the last paper. The New Independent newspaper has cracks in Dintra. Royal Agona family deepens as litigation stalls Buamponsim's burial. Exim Bank MD, others set to testify, and NDC criticizes Bawumia. Government says Ghanaians were starved to impress the IMF. No, notably, those are the stories we have on the front page of the New Independent newspaper. Mama.
You're through? Okay, let's do the Daily Graphic and the Finder. So the graphic first, front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Asantehene large graphic role in nation building. So the insets there on the front page of the paper is that of Otumfuo say to the second, welcoming Mr. Ato Afo, the managing director of the graphic communications group, to the Menshia Palace in Kumasi. Picture taken by Emmanuel Ba. Also on the front page, MPP has drawn economy back, according to NDC. Ghana has no disaster risk plan. That story is in the pages of the paper today, page 16. Aftermath of Dr. Bawumia's presentation, GRA reduces benchmark values, Temaport effects decision. Kujo was there yesterday. Is it reflecting? How is it showing? We'll talk a bit about that. Back page, Forestry Commission, VRA to establish bamboo plantations to protect Volta Lake from destruction. Fishermen, oil, gas industry agree to framework on safety practices. Center spread of the Daily Graphic newspaper strive to make technology part of Ghanaian society. VIP challenges youth. Kumasi CBD spruced up for Asantehene's 20th anniversary celebration is also another story. Let's do the Finder. Okay, that's the center spread of the graphic. Let's do the Finder now. On debt, tame borrowing, Adongo cautions government. GCB records 323 million Ghana cedis net profit in 2018. Ghana Oracle partnership is a game changer for digital advancements, according to the Vice President. Minority questions huge tax waivers to ExxonMobil. That'll be it by way of what's on the front page, by way of headlines in the Finder newspaper. All right, we're through with the papers we have. Are we, gentlemen?
All right. Well,
so because it's raining, let me start off with the story, which is in the Daily Graphic newspaper. The fact that Ghana has no disaster risk plan. Essentially, if there is a disaster, if anything happens right now, God forbid, all the various organizations that we have are not coordinated. Like, we don't have a master plan, so each organization will not know what they will do. That's what it is. Yeah. Like, we're nowhere. If anything happens, nobody would know how we will coordinate ourselves.
This is something that we've talked about since 2015 that the
particularly after the fire.
Yeah.
4 years ago, we set up a certain committee, but this story will tell you that the committee has still not finished its work.
This is really troubling for so many reasons, because you see, this headline has another headline behind it, if you like. This is just the fact that we have no disaster risk plan. But the real headline behind it is that Ghana doesn't learn. That's the real truth. For how many years have we been having floods every year? I have a recording of Kweku Sechiado's first ever hosting of Newsfile. I think it was almost 2 decades ago, where he opened up with a conversation about perennial flooding 20 years ago. 20 years ago. So every year since then, there has been flooding. Every year, the problem has returned to meet us unprepared, even though it happened to us the year before. So if you come to the year when people died, 2015, you think to yourself, at that point, people had 16 years of experience and warning and expectation that in the rainy season, there will be flooding in Accra. 16 times it had happened, at least, if we take Kweku Sechiado's intro of Newsfile to be perhaps a starting point. 16 years. Yet, it happened to us, 157 people died, and we were looking at each other wondering what on earth happened. And then that year, we said never again. And then it happened again the next year.
Yeah.
And people died again. So the real truth is that we never learn. It's not always resources that saves lives. It's usually just having a plan, knowing what to do. If you know it's coming, you know how to protect yourself. You don't have to have helicopters and, you know, boats and rescue. You don't. If you have that, it makes your life easier. But if you have all those things and you don't have a plan, people will still die.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So a plan is what we need. We have to look at the resources we actually do have, the number of well-trained respondents we have, where they are in this country in relation to the places where the floods happen, where they should be every night when it starts raining, so that if something happens, they can deploy quickly, what they should go with in the absence of all the wonderful equipment we should have, the little that we do have. Which ones should they deploy? And if some of them are heavy, should we store them somewhere near the flooding sites? These are simple decisions we can make simply by planning, by thinking ahead. And these little decisions will save lives. Because when I said earlier that we are not yet civilized to function when it rains, that was an indictment of our development as a nation. So in fact, when I say third world and somebody says, hey, we are developing, are we?
We are.
Are we really developing?
We are.
Because when it rains, we come to a halt. Look, in England, it rains there more than any other place I've visited in this world. When it rains, it's not that things don't get affected, but there is a plan. So if it rains and certain railway lines, for example, have to be cancelled because the rain affects the ability of the trains to run on them, or leaves fall on them and so the trains can't run, they have something called a bus replacement service. It's there. It kicks in automatically. So you go to the train station, the train can't run. There is a bus there. You jump in it. It takes you to the same destination you are going to.
Can you pause and do special dedication like Bonyo Mame?
Sir, my chair, my dream. We
will get there.
No, but the subject of but the subject of us getting there is it's a bigger indictment on our thinking since independence. And if you look at various countries that have some of the best practice, they have the standard operating procedures. And that even has been drilled into the mindset of the younger generation. And so what we have here is the absence of proper communication and the synergy that is needed. And the last time I spoke to the ambulance services and the director there, or the chief executive, knew about everything that could happen or should be done in preventing disasters in Japan, even in some of the best developed countries we have. But in our country, he doesn't have the ability and the will, just because the institutions would not allow those institutions to be able to create the synergy. And it's a problem.
A plan.
That's why I said you should play a song for me.
And by the way, the president actually, or I just remembered now, how long ago was it when the earthquake happened, the last tremor happened?
The president ordered 2-3 weeks.
Yes, ordered that we should make a plan. You remember?
I bet 4 years ago we set up a committee so that if anything happened, there will be proper coordination. 4 years on, we're sitting here, we don't have nothing. God forbid if anything happened, it will be just like we did 4 years ago.
Remember Ebola?
Yeah.
When it was killing people indiscriminately in our neighboring countries. We were sitting in the middle of it, and do you know what our strategy was? Prayer. Prayer was our strategy. The Super Morning Show went all the way to Nigeria to go and learn how they had prepared for and contained Ebola when it arrived there. By the way, their record, it's better than any other country in the history of Ebola when it comes to how they controlled it. So we brought that learning back, and that was when the Ministry of Health and other ministries were forced to create some interministerial committee, and they did some drills, and they set up some. All of what they did, by the way, has been left to rot. There's the place where they set up a secretariat to manage disasters like this. That place has been changed into an institution for some other organization, and the new government has employed some people to run HEFRA, the one that accredits the hospital. Yes, they've taken over the location that used to be the sort of the ground zero, the point from which all resources are to be deployed if we ever have an outbreak. So the one time that somebody made a plan, and even that one was reactive, that plan has been scrapped by the new government. Life and death, and so was it politics.
Okay, it's a good point to take a breather. My song is not ready. I've been singing. Let's do other stories because we have to run.
We're singing a cappella, or should we whistle it? At this point. All right, so I don't know if this will be of interest to you. You know the court case going on with the NCA executives who went to buy some equipment to listen to phone calls. And
I know Integra India is using Bafo Bonnie.
Yes. According to the prosecutors anyway. So another update in that, Chief Inspector Michael Nkrumah is the investigator in the trial, and he was questioned yesterday, and he said that you know this equipment, it was a national security official who approached NCA and arranged to go and buy it. Well, the national security bosses from that time say they knew nothing about this. National security coordinator Baba Kamara. Yeah, national security coordinator Baba Kamara said, "Look, if we sorry, he was the national security advisor at the time. He said he didn't know how the equipment was purchased. He said his job was to advise the president on national security matters, and if the need had arisen, he would have advised the president."
Oh, but if you look at the showdown at the Emil Short Commission, this will not surprise you.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Although this proves that it's been like that for a long time. Because this is the previous government.
Yeah.
You know, and they also.
It means that the status quo continues.
Indeed.
But it must. We have to be cautious. This still remains an allegation.
Of course. And by the way, this is Michael Nkrumah testifying in court, saying that he spoke to Baba Kamara, National Security Advisor, and the National Security Coordinator, who is was Yao Donko at the time. He says he spoke to them, and this is what they told him. But for me, I think those people ought to be called to court to give their own testimony, because they appear to be important witnesses. If what they said is important, then they should be called to court, because in fact, the witness, Michael Nkrumah, was questioned by Thaddeus Sori, one of the defendant's lawyers, questioned that, look, are you telling the truth? He said, well, yeah, I'm being truthful. But why should it come down to his word? I think Baba Kamara and Yao Donko should be called in to give their own testimony about whether indeed they knew, and give the accusers the chance to also question them, question what they have to say about it.
Okay, just a little reminder of something that will be happening today, the GRA, and I'm sharing this because they invited me last Wednesday. So they've set a week aside, a week in April, for good governance. You know, they want all of us to pay our taxes. They are launching iTaps, which will make it easier so that you can sit in the comfort of wherever and file your taxes and do some follow-ups as well online. So it's going to it's essentially online, just filing your taxes online. Yeah.
So are you going to download an app, or you just go to a portal?
just go to the GRA website and learn a lot more. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to say was to say good morning to my dear friend Sefam Ekia Lord Mensa, and to say to you that whether there's a big gutter in front of your house or not, you're going to work, darling.
She does have a big gutter in front of her.
I doubt. I don't think so. That would just be an excuse.
Okay.
But you're going to work.
What's the new indictment?
Poor Stefan has been outed. By the way, while we're saying good mornings, let me quickly say good morning to all of my friends at Robert and Sons. They always provide my eyewear. Every time you see me in glasses, it's been provided by Robert and Sons. And wonderful people that are waiting to help you when you go there with your eye problems.
Okay, so this is illegal. What is illegal is what is legal is what I'm wearing, which is Woodin.
What is illegal about it?
Le Crete.
What is
and
illegal
my
about
designer is Ajoyabwa Clothing. So go to the Woodin store if you're looking for a gift for someone. And usually we struggle with gifts, right? Just go to the Woodin store. They have different things that you can grab for someone. Yeah, this is legal.
Sally for combat.
No
Good morning. Good morning to Sally for this is on behalf of Roland Walker.
Good morning to you, Godwin Tamaklo. You're celebrating your birthday. You're one of the big agents for Puma Energy.
Okay, don't say your cake is on me.
Oh,
don't say your lunch is on me.
No, don't say.